Hi there, I'm Craig Harmon of Harmony Music Education, and today I want to talk about a new album. It just released today, Friday, March 27th, 2026, and the name of the album is This Music May Contain Hope by Raye. Now, what exactly does that word hope mean? Well, I looked up the definition and it's a desire accompanied by expectation of obtaining what is desired or belief that it is obtainable. Also, expectation of fulfillment or success. And in this, Ray makes a very, very bold statement with the title of this album. This music may contain hope. And I'll answer the question of does this contain hope at the end of this video. But I was first introduced to Ray back in the fall of 2025 when my 16-year-old daughter said to me, Dad, you have to hear this song, Where Is My Husband? It is so cool. And I listened to it and I was struck in a lot of ways by it. Of just the groove, first off, I love it. But it had this kind of 60s Motown kind of feel in the harmony, and it just was really, it struck me as very creative, very, very unique. I was really taken by it. So I was like, okay, this is good. So I followed her music a little bit, and a couple weeks ago, she had a video released on YouTube and also a corresponding track on Spotify called Nightingale Lane, where she recorded it live at Abbey Road Studios, which I'm all for, using the London Symphony Orchestra. And I was blown away at her voice. Vocally, she's got this range, this control, this power, this beauty, all wrapped up and can just go from just this very light sound to this just very strong, emotional sound in a blink of an eye, which is absolutely unbelievable. So I was really hooked and was looking forward to today when this album came out. Earlier this week, I think it was, or last week, she released another song called Click Clack Symphony with Hans Zimmer. And again, this has got an orchestral accompaniment to it. I was like, wow, this is really good. And it struck me as kind of a little bit of a range going from Where's My Husband, which is kind of a very pop, even a little bit of a throwback kind of sound, to these two songs that were kind of a mix of a lot of different styles. And that is the thing with Ray. On this album, This Music May Contain Hope, you will find pop, R&B, jazz, throwbacks to big band era, you name it, electronic kind of sound, you're going to find it on this album. And on these 17 songs, 17 tracks, an hour and 13 minutes in length, I would encourage you to listen to it in track order, because that's what I did on my first listen today, and it was just absolutely amazing. The first track is a spoken word track. It's called Girl Under the Gray Cloud, and it gives you kind of, almost in a way, kind of a synopsis or unpacking what is to come on this album. And from there, it is, I mean, all over the place in a great way. Okay, I'm drawn to it because I have always been that kind of person who will go from one style of music to the next, just kind of almost frenetically all over the place. And you have one track that even starts off kind of more of just a softer kind of ballad, and by the end, it is just this big dance kind of thing. It's absolutely amazing. The interesting thing on how this is laid out, normally when most albums get laid out, kind of the songs that are the big hits or the ones that could be kind of the really big, well known songs, are usually put more toward the top of the album. Now, of course, in our streaming world today, that doesn't really make a difference. But Where Is My Husband is not until track number 13. But to get there, you've got all of these just absolutely amazing songs. The back half from Where Is My Husband on is just so powerful. I found myself actually brought to tears. And that's the beauty and power of music. Because the track after Where Is My Husband, called Fields, it includes her grandfather. Not only just it's kind of like she's singing a letter to him, but also he's responding as well, and it's just beautiful. And of course, she also includes her sisters on one of the songs. It's called Joy, which is absolutely so good. But the coolest part I thought of this album is the last track called Finn, which is the finishing final track on the album. And what she does, and I encourage you to listen to it all the way to the end, because what she does is she actually gives verbal thanks to the people who were on the album, who participated. And in this current day of streaming, I appreciate that because, back in the olden days, when you had records or you had cassettes or you had CDs, you had liner notes. And I always enjoyed reading those to just kind of know who the people were who participated in making the album. And that's what she does verbally on that final track, which I think is just so beautiful and so amazing. So, does this music contain hope? The answer is absolutely. Raye is a powerhouse, creative vocalist and musician. She is a brilliant songwriter. The things that she tackles on this album topically are impressive and amazing. As the father of two daughters, I want them to listen to this music because there's some things that I want them to hear on this album. But as a person, as a musician, it spoke to me as well in a very beautiful and a very, very powerful way. And the hope that comes from this album, at least in my opinion, at least after one listen, is that for me, the hope is for music. Because, well, in pop music, which is kind of what I'm drawn to in a lot of ways, it's very boring, very kind of almost cyclical and just kind of repetitive and just boring. There's not much creativity to it. This gives me hope because, if you've read anything in the news, AI is growing and growing and growing, and in fact is kind of infiltrating the music world as well, which again just kind of leads to a lack of creativity. But this is creative. This is beautiful. And I can't wait to go back and listen to it a second time and a third time and really dig into these tracks and really unpack just the absolute beauty and creativity that went into these. Again, if you want to hear a funky guitar in a James Brown kind of style, it's there for you. If you want to hear 1950s jazz feeling kind of standard, it's there. If you want to hear this just really kind of a frenetic beat, Where's My Husband's got it for you. I love it. But it's all there, and it's just so good. For me, so far, this is my album of 2026. It is absolutely amazing from beginning to end. There wasn't a track where I was like, okay, this is all right, I'm just gonna skip it. No. This is one that I just was just forward, just connected to, and just locked in and loved it all the way through. So, go take a listen to Raye. This music may contain hope. Also, give the channel a subscribe and a like so that you are catching when I release new videos, and that's it.